What if I told you that being ignored is not the problem? That the real issue isn't her silence, but your reaction to it. Most men fall into the trap of seeking validation the moment a woman pulls away. They start overanalyzing, questioning themselves, wondering what they did wrong. They double text, they try harder, they chase, and in doing so, they give away all their power. Because here's the brutal truth. Women ignore men they don't respect. The moment you react to her silence, the moment you show that her lack of attention bothers you, you confirm her superiority in the dynamic. You tell her, without words, that she is in control, and you are waiting for her approval. And that is what destroys attraction. Women are wired to test men. Some do it consciously, some do it instinctively. But when a woman ignores you, she is doing one of two things. Either she is playing with your emotions to see if she can control you, or she has already decided that you are not worth her time. Either way, your response will determine everything. Most men react emotionally. They beg for attention. They get angry. They try to make her jealous. They post things online hoping she'll notice. But all of this only feeds her ego. Because when you chase a woman who is ignoring you, you confirm exactly what she suspected, that you are beneath her. And once she sees you that way, there is no coming back. But there is another path. A path that does not just stop you from losing power, but reverses the dynamic completely. A strategy that does not just make her regret ignoring you, but makes her question everything she thought she knew about you. And that strategy, it starts with mastering indifference. Because the man who does not care whether she stays or goes is the man she can never control. And that is the man she can never ignore. 2. Why she ignores you. The psychology of power. A woman's silence is never random, it is never meaningless. When a woman ignores you, there is always a reason, even if she herself isn't fully aware of it. And if you don't understand that reason, you will react in all the wrong ways. You will chase when you should pull back. You will seek answers when you should remain silent. You will try to win her over when you should be walking away. And in doing so, you will destroy your own value in her eyes. Because here's the truth. A woman will only ignore a man when she knows he still wants her. She will never ignore a man she fears losing. She will never risk pushing away a man she sees as truly valuable. Women only ignore men when they believe that those men are still beneath them, still available, still waiting for their approval. Which means that the moment she chooses to ignore you, she has already decided that you hold no real power in the dynamic. And that is what makes men fail, not the silence itself, but their emotional response to it. A woman will ignore you for one of two reasons. Either she is testing you or she is discarding you. If she is testing you, she is pulling back to see if you will chase, to see if you will react, to see if you will crumble under the weight of her absence. She wants to know, how much does he really need me? How much does he crave my attention? How weak is he for me? And the moment you reach out first, the moment you try to get her attention, she has her answer. She knows she can manipulate you. She knows she can disappear and still control your emotions. She knows that no matter how much she disrespects you, you will still seek her validation. And that knowledge, that is what kills attraction, because women do not desire men they can control. They desire men they can never fully grasp, which means that if a woman is ignoring you to test your strength, the only correct response is complete indifference. Not fake indifference, not pretending to be busy while secretly checking your phone, but real, ruthless detachment. Because only then will she see you as a challenge. Only then will she start to wonder, why isn't he affected? Why isn't he chasing me? Did I misjudge him? Did I just lose something valuable? And that doubt, that is what makes her respect you again. But what if she isn't testing you? What if she is discarding you? This is the painful reality that most men refuse to accept. Sometimes, a woman ignores you because she has already decided that you are no longer an option. Maybe she found someone else. Maybe she lost interest. Maybe she never truly respected you in the first place. But no matter the reason, her silence is an answer, and the mistake most men make. They refuse to accept that answer. Instead of recognizing that her actions have already spoken louder than words ever could, they keep trying. They text her again. They ask her what's wrong. They try to remind her of what they had, and in doing so, they completely destroy any remaining respect she might have had for them. because nothing is more pathetic in a woman's eyes than a man who refuses to walk away from someone who has already rejected him. This is why your reaction to her silence is everything. The weak man takes it personally. He spirals. He seeks closure. He thinks, if I could just talk to her one more time, if I could just explain myself, if I could just remind her how good we were together, she would come back. But she won't. Because in her mind, the moment she ignored you, she already decided that you were no longer worth her time. And if you keep trying, if you keep reaching out, begging for an explanation, you only reinforce her belief that she made the right choice. Because no woman regrets ignoring a man she can still control. No woman fears losing a man who refuses to let go. The only men women regret ignoring are the ones who do not wait, do not chase, and do not care. And this is where power comes in. Because at its core, a woman's attraction to a man is always about power. Not physical power, not financial power, but emotional dominance. A woman wants to feel that the man she is dealing with is emotionally stronger than her, that he is in control of himself, that he does not break under pressure, that no matter what she does, no matter how much she pulls away, no matter how much she tests him, he remains completely unmoved. And when a woman ignores you, that is the moment where your emotional strength is truly tested. That is the moment where she will see you for what you really are, a weak man who crumbles, or a man so powerful that her silence means nothing to him. Because here's the reality, if you were truly a man of value, she would never ignore you in the first place. If you were truly a high-status man, a man of power, a man who was respected and desired by others, she would never risk losing you. The fact that she feels comfortable ignoring you means that on some level, she believes she can do better. And your job is not to convince her otherwise. Your job is not to prove your worth to someone who already doubts it. Your job is to walk away so completely that she is forced to confront her own mistake. Because the moment you stop reacting, the moment you stop chasing, the moment you truly stop caring, that is when she starts feeling the weight of her decision. That is when the doubt starts creeping in. That is when she starts wondering, did I just lose something rare? Did I misjudge him? Is he actually better than I thought? And when that happens, the power shifts. She goes from the one who is in control to the one who is now questioning herself. And the moment she starts questioning herself, she can no longer ignore you. This is why ignoring her back is not enough. You must go beyond silence. You must evolve. You must rise to a level where even if she wanted to come back, she would no longer qualify for you. Because that is the only way to destroy her ego. Not by proving yourself, not by trying to make her jealous, not by seeking revenge, but by becoming a man she will regret losing for the rest of her life. And that starts with the next step, mastering detachment. 3. The worst mistakes men make when ignored. When a woman ignores you, most men react in the worst way possible. They don't even realize it, but their own actions confirm exactly why she lost interest in the first place. They think they are fighting for her attention, but what they are really doing is proving why they never deserved it. Because here's the truth, when a woman ignores you, it's not an accident. It's not because she forgot to text back. It's not because she's busy. It's because she does not feel enough respect or desire to prioritize you. And the moment you react emotionally to that, you confirm that she was right. Mistake #1, chasing her attention. This is the most common mistake men make. A woman ignores them, and instead of pulling back, they push harder. They text again. They ask if something is wrong. They send memes or jokes, trying to lighten the mood. They convince themselves that if they just remind her of how great they are, she will snap out of it and start showing interest again. But that's not how attraction works. The moment she senses that you need her attention, that you are bothered by her silence, she loses even more respect for you. Because she realizes that your self-worth is dependent on her validation. And the moment a woman sees that a man needs her validation, she can no longer desire him. Mistake #2. Seeking an explanation. Weak men think they are being mature by asking a woman why she is ignoring them. They think if they can just talk it out, they will get closure or clarity. But in reality, there is nothing to explain. A woman ignoring you is already an answer. It tells you everything you need to know. She does not respect you enough to communicate with you. She does not see you as a priority. She does not fear losing you. That is the only explanation you need. And when you try to ask her what's wrong or did I do something, you instantly lower yourself. You become weak in her eyes, because no powerful man ever asks for attention. He simply removes himself from any situation where he is not valued. Mistake #3. Trying to make her jealous. Some men, instead of begging for attention, go the opposite route. They try to make her jealous. They post stories with other women, hoping she will notice. They purposely act like they're having the best time without her. They play games, hoping that by making her feel a little jealous, she will come running back. But this only works if you are actually detached. If you are still emotionally invested, if you are still watching her stories, if you are still checking to see if she noticed your post, you are still playing her game. And deep down, she knows it. True power is not in making her jealous, it's in making her irrelevant. It's in reaching a point where even if she begged for your attention, you would no longer care. Mistake #4. Getting angry. Some men take rejection personally. When a woman ignores them, they lash out. They send aggressive texts. They try to call her out. They tell her she's playing games, that she's shallow, that she's wasting their time. But this only makes things worse, because now, instead of seeming powerful and detached, you look weak and emotional. You look like a man who cannot handle rejection, a man who is ruled by his feelings, a man who has no control over himself. And let me tell you something, no woman desires a man she can emotionally control. Mistake #5. Waiting for her to come back. This is the silent mistake. The one most men don't even realize they are making. They don't text her, they don't chase, they don't beg, but they wait. They leave the door open. They secretly hope she will reach out. They don't move on because in the back of their minds, they think, maybe she just needs space. Maybe she will realize what she lost. Maybe if I just wait long enough, she will come back. But waiting is just another form of weakness, because a woman can feel when a man is still holding on to her. Even in silence, she knows when she still has power over you. And the moment she senses that, she has no reason to come back, because she knows that if she ever wanted to, you would still be there. Mistake #6. Thinking no contact alone will fix everything. No contact is powerful, but most men use it wrong. They think just by not texting, they are making a statement. They think by blocking her, they are taking control. But no contact only works if you evolve. If you are still the same man, if you are still sitting around thinking about her, if you are still waiting for her to regret ignoring you, you are still weak. No contact is not about punishing her. It's about becoming so powerful that she no longer matters. Mistake #7. Not learning the lesson. Every time a woman ignores you, there is a lesson to be learned. Either you were too available, or you put her on a pedestal, or you lacked self-respect, or you let her see that she was the center of your world. But most men refuse to learn. They just repeat the same cycle with a different woman. They keep chasing, they keep waiting, they keep making the same mistakes, and that is why they never win. But the men who learn, the men who evolve, the men who take rejection and use it as fuel to level up, those are the men who become unignorable. And that is exactly what we will talk about next. How to shift the power dynamic so that she starts chasing you. 4. The power shift. Reversing the dynamic power in any relationship is not about who cares more. It's about who is in control of their emotions. And right now, she thinks she has the power. She thinks she can ignore you without consequences. She thinks she can pull away, and you will sit there, waiting, hoping, desperate for another chance. She thinks you will react, that you will reach out, that you will seek her attention. And as long as that is true, she has already won, because in her mind, she is the prize. In her mind, she is the one in control. In her mind, your worth depends on her validation, and as long as she believes that, she will never respect you. But this is where everything changes, because the moment you shift the dynamic, the moment she realizes she is no longer in control, that is when she starts feeling the regret. That is when she starts questioning herself. That is when she starts wondering if she made the wrong decision. Because here's something most men never understand. A woman does not fear losing a man who waits for her. She only fears losing a man who moves on so completely that he becomes untouchable. She only regrets ignoring a man when she sees that his life is better without her. And that is the key. You must show, not tell, that her absence has done nothing but elevate you. Most men try to prove their worth by convincing a woman to see their value. They send messages explaining why they are a good man. They try to remind her of what they had. They think if they just say the right thing, she will wake up and realize her mistake. But words do nothing. A woman will not regret ignoring you because you explain yourself. She will only regret it when she sees that you have become a man she can no longer have. When she realizes that her silence did not hurt you, it only made you stronger. When she sees that instead of breaking, you evolved into something even greater. And the only way to create this shift, you must become completely unapologetically indifferent to her existence. This is not about faking it. This is not about pretending to be busy while secretly hoping she reaches out. This is not about playing games to get her attention. This is about full detachment. Because here's the truth. Women are wired to test men. They will ignore you to see how much you care. They will pull back to see if you will chase. They will create distance to see if you will break. And the weak men always do. The weak men always react. But the men who win, they walk away without hesitation. Not to get a reaction. Not to make her miss them. But because they refuse to give their energy to someone who does not respect them. And that is the moment where the power shifts. Because when a woman sees that her absence does not affect you, she starts to panic. She starts to wonder, why isn't he chasing me? Why hasn't he reached out? Did I make a mistake? Is he already moving on? Has he found someone better? And once those thoughts enter her mind, she can no longer ignore you. Because now, it is not about you proving yourself to her. It is about her proving herself to you. Now, she is the one checking your social media. Now, she is the one wondering if she still has a place in your life. Now, she is the one who feels the fear of loss. And here's the paradox. The moment she starts fearing losing you is the moment she starts wanting you back. Because human nature is built on one fundamental truth. We only value what we fear losing. And the moment you show her that she is no longer valuable in your world, that is when she starts feeling the regret. That is when she starts chasing. That is when she starts wondering if she just lost something she will never find again. But here's the twist. By the time she realizes it, you will no longer care. Because this power shift is not about making her regret. It is not about playing games. It is not about waiting for her to come back. It is about evolving so completely that her presence is no longer relevant to your life. Because when you reach that level, you do not need to destroy her ego, she destroys it herself. And that is when you truly win. 5. Mastering detachment, the art of being unaffected. Most men will never understand what true detachment really is. They think it means ignoring a woman while secretly hoping she notices. They think it means pretending not to care while still checking her social media, still waiting for a text, still feeling that sting of rejection deep inside. But that is not detachment. That is still attachment in disguise. Detachment is not about hiding your emotions. It is about transcending them. It is about reaching a state of such complete self-mastery that her actions, her silence, her presence, or her absence have no effect on you whatsoever. Because the moment a woman sees that she still has the power to affect your emotions, even through distance, even through silence, she knows she still owns you. She knows she can come and go as she pleases, and you will still be there, waiting, reacting, hoping. And that is why most men never win. Because even when they think they have walked away, they are still mentally trapped. To truly master detachment, you must first understand that nothing outside of you has power unless you give it power. A woman cannot make you feel rejected unless you already doubt yourself. A woman cannot make you feel insecure unless you have already placed her above you in your mind. A woman cannot make you feel like you are losing her unless you have already convinced yourself that she is something to be lost. And this is where the shift happens. Because once you realize that your emotions are entirely within your own control, that nobody, no woman, no person, no situation can dictate how you feel unless you allow it, you become untouchable. You become the kind of man that no woman can manipulate, no rejection can shake, no game can control. And once you reach that level, everything changes. Imagine this. Imagine that she ignores you, and instead of feeling anything, you feel nothing. Not fake indifference, not forced nonchalance, but actual, pure indifference. Imagine that she leaves your message on read, and instead of overanalyzing, instead of questioning yourself, instead of wondering why, you simply move forward without a second thought. Imagine that she pulls back, expecting you to chase, expecting you to react, expecting you to notice, and instead you disappear so completely from her reality that she starts to doubt her own importance. That is real detachment. That is true power. Because now, instead of you seeking her validation, instead of you trying to figure out what she is thinking, she is the one questioning everything. She is the one wondering if she misjudged you. She is the one feeling the emptiness of your absence. And the moment that happens, the dynamic flips entirely. Because here's the paradox. Women only desire men they cannot control. They only respect men who do not need them. They only crave what they cannot fully understand. And nothing is more confusing to a woman than a man who truly does not care. Not a man who pretends not to care. Not a man who acts busy while secretly hoping she comes back. But a man who, in every sense, in every action, in every thought, has already moved so far beyond her that she no longer exists in his reality. And once she feels that, once she sees that her silence has not only failed to break you, but has actually made you stronger, she will feel something she never expected to feel: regret. Regret, because she realizes that she had access to a man who was different from the rest, and now she has lost him forever. Regret, because she knows that while she was playing games, testing, pulling away, you were not waiting, you were evolving. Regret, because now, even if she wanted to come back, even if she wanted to reach out, even if she suddenly realized your value, it would be too late. And nothing destroys a woman's ego more than realizing that she has lost a man who no longer needs her, no longer thinks about her, no longer even remembers her name. This is why detachment is not just about ignoring her. It is about becoming a man so focused, so disciplined, so completely in control of his own emotions that no woman, no rejection, no external force can ever shake him again. It is about reaching such a level of self-mastery that you are no longer affected by the things that destroy other men. And once you reach that level, you will never be ignored again. Not because you are seeking attention, not because you are playing games, but because you have become the kind of man who is so rare, so magnetic, so powerful in his own energy that women feel your presence even when you are gone. 6. Becoming the man she regrets. Ignoring regret is not created by words. It is not created by silence alone. It is not created by trying to prove your worth. Regret is only created by contrast, by showing a woman, not through effort but through transformation, that she lost something she will never have again. The reason most men are so easily forgotten is that they remain the same. They do nothing with their pain. They stay stuck in the past, waiting, hoping, believing that if they just give it time, she will come back. But women do not regret losing men who stay the same. They only regret losing men who evolve into something greater than they ever expected. A woman will only feel the weight of her decision when she looks back and sees a man who has risen so far beyond her that she no longer even qualifies for his attention. And that is the path you must take. Not because of her, not to make her regret, not to seek revenge, but because the only way to truly win in this life is to become so undeniably great that your absence is more powerful than your presence ever was. Imagine this. Imagine that the man she ignored, the man she once saw as just another option, suddenly becomes a man that others admire, that other women desire, that the world respects. Imagine that while she was out looking for something better, you were building yourself into something she could never reach again. She expected you to wait. She expected you to stay the same. She expected you to always be an option. Now she looks back and realizes that she did not just lose a man, she lost the opportunity to be part of something extraordinary. And nothing destroys a woman's ego more than knowing that she once had access to a man who became untouchable. But this transformation is not just about success. It is not just about making more money, building a stronger body, or gaining more status. Those things matter, but they are only part of the equation. What truly makes a woman regret losing a man is when she sees that he has become a man who no longer needs anyone. A man who is so complete within himself that no woman, no rejection, no external force can ever shake him again. A man who is so confident, so in control, so disciplined in his purpose that his very existence demands respect. And that is what separates the forgotten from the unforgettable. Most men try to gain a woman's respect by chasing it. They try to make her see their value by proving themselves, by explaining, by seeking validation. But true respect is never asked for, it is commanded. And the only way to command it is to become a man whose presence alone is enough to shift the energy in a room. A man who speaks with certainty, a man who moves with intention, a man who does not wait for approval, but instead creates his own reality. Because here's the truth, women do not regret losing men who seek their validation. They regret losing men who validate themselves. And once you become that man, she will feel the regret. Not because you told her to, not because you tried to make her jealous, not because you played games, but because your very existence is a reminder of what she can never have again. Every time she sees your name, every time she hears about your success, every time she watches you from a distance, she will remember that she once had access to something rare, and now that door is permanently closed. But here's the best part, by the time she realizes it, you won't even care. Because this transformation is not about her, it is about you. It is about becoming the man you were always meant to be. A man who is so focused on his own path, so disciplined in his own mission, that whether she regrets losing you or not is irrelevant. A man who does not chase love, but instead becomes so powerful that love chases him. This is why you must never try to make her regret ignoring you. Because the moment you do, you are still giving her power. The real goal is to become so elevated, so untouchable, so entirely self-sufficient that her opinion no longer matters. And that is what will destroy her ego more than anything else. Not just that you moved on, but that you moved beyond her reach. And when that moment comes, when she finally realizes what she lost, you will already be gone. 7. Silence is a psychological weapon. Most men think words are their greatest tool. They believe that if they can just explain themselves, if they can just say the right thing, if they can just communicate their value, they will win a woman's respect. But that is the greatest mistake a man can make. Because women do not feel attraction through words. They feel it through absence, through uncertainty, through the emotional turmoil that silence creates. A man who talks too much about his worth is a man who has already lost it. But a man who walks away without explanation, without hesitation, without emotion, he becomes unforgettable. Because silence is not just the absence of sound, it is a void that her mind will fill with questions, doubts, and regrets. A void that will make her rethink everything. A void that will become more powerful than anything you could ever say. Imagine this, she ignores you, expecting you to notice, expecting you to react, expecting you to do what every other man has done before. She expects you to double text. She expects you to post something online to get her attention. She expects you to linger, to stay emotionally available, to prove to her that she still matters, but instead, you give her nothing, no words, no reaction, no sign that she even exists in your world anymore. And at first, she might not care. At first, she might think you've moved on. But then, days turn into weeks, weeks turn into months, and suddenly she starts to wonder. She starts to wonder why you haven't reached out. She starts to wonder if you ever even cared. She starts to wonder if she made a mistake. And that uncertainty, that is what destroys her ego. Because women thrive on knowing they have control. They thrive on attention, validation, the feeling that they are desired. But when you remove that, when you take away the one thing she expected from you, your pursuit, you leave her with nothing but her own thoughts. And nothing is more terrifying for a woman than realizing that she is no longer the center of your world. Because here's the brutal truth. Women expect weak men to wait. They expect weak men to hold on, to keep the door open, to always be available. But when a woman realizes that you are not waiting, when she sees that you are no longer playing her game, that is when she starts to panic. Because now she is no longer the one in control. Now, she is the one who feels powerless. Now she is the one left wondering if she was just another option to you. And once that thought enters her mind, she can never ignore you again. But here's the key. You cannot break the silence. The moment you reach out, the moment you respond to her breadcrumbs, the moment you acknowledge her existence, you undo everything. Because silence is only powerful when it is real. If she feels that you are only being silent to manipulate her, if she senses that you are waiting for her to notice, if she believes that you are still emotionally attached, then she still has power. But if your silence is genuine, if your detachment is real, if you are so focused on your own path that she is no longer even a thought in your mind, That is when she feels the full weight of your absence, and that is when the tables turn. Because suddenly, the questions are no longer in your mind, they are in hers. Suddenly, she is the one overanalyzing. Suddenly, she is the one checking your social media. Suddenly, she is the one feeling rejected. And that shift, that is what makes her regret. Not because she truly wants you back. Not because she realizes your worth, but because she no longer has control. And control is the only thing she ever really wanted. This is why silence is the most devastating weapon a man can use, because it forces a woman to sit with her own emotions. It forces her to wonder if she misjudged you. It forces her to confront the reality that she was never as important as she thought. And once a woman starts questioning her own importance in your life, she is already broken. But here's the final truth. By the time she regrets ignoring you, it will no longer matter. Because this is not about getting her back. This is not about proving your worth. This is not about playing games. This is about becoming a man so powerful, so rare, so completely in control of his emotions that no woman, no rejection, no silence can ever shake him again. And once you reach that level, she will be the one chasing. Conclusion: the man who cannot be ignored. At the beginning of this journey, you were just another man seeking answers. You wondered why she ignored you. You overanalyzed every moment, every text, every interaction. You questioned yourself, your worth, your actions. But now you understand that the real battle was never about her. It was about you, about who you were before she ignored you, and who you have now become. And the man you have become, he is no longer concerned with her attention, because he knows that the moment he truly stops caring, the moment he removes himself completely, the moment he stops seeking validation from anyone, he becomes a man who can never be ignored again. Most men spend their lives chasing attention, chasing approval, chasing women who do not respect them. They waste years hoping to be chosen, hoping to be noticed, hoping that one day the people who ignored them will suddenly see their worth. But those men never win. Because a man who waits to be chosen is a man who is already lost. But a man who chooses himself, a man who walks away without looking back, a man who is so deeply focused on his own purpose, his own success, his own evolution, that he no longer even remembers the women who ignored him. That is the man who commands attention without asking for it. Imagine this: you disappear from her life completely. Not as a tactic, not as a game, but because she no longer fits into the world you are building. She checks her phone one day, expecting to see your name, expecting to feel the comfort of knowing you are still waiting, and instead, there is nothing. Silence, emptiness, a void, and at first, she shrugs it off. She assumes you're still there, just being patient. But as time passes, as weeks turn into months, as months turn into a new reality, she starts to realize the truth. She was never as important as she thought. And that is when the regret begins. Because now, she starts wondering, where did he go? Has he moved on? Is he with someone better? She starts questioning herself. Did I make a mistake? Was he actually more valuable than I realized? And those questions, they will torment her far more than anything you could have ever said. Because nothing is more painful for a woman than realizing that she ignored a man who became unreachable. But here's the final truth: you will no longer care. By the time she regrets it, by the time she realizes what she lost, by the time she feels the full weight of her own mistake, you will be too far ahead to even notice. Because you have become a man who is no longer waiting for anyone. A man who is no longer seeking validation. A man who is so completely in control of his emotions that no rejection, no silence, no loss can ever shake him again. A man who cannot be ignored. And that is the ultimate power. Now, if you found value in this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and drop a comment below. The man who chooses himself is the man who always wins. Until next time, stay focused, stay disciplined, and remember, she didn't ignore you. You removed yourself.